This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Cabo Jim Schaller.
Welcome, good neighbors. Episode number 173 of the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. Today we have good neighbor Ehren Frey from Zacharia Brown. Welcome.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks so much for having us.
Absolutely. Pleasure to get to know people here in the community and what they do. And I guess without further ado, let's jump right in. And why don't you share a little bit about what you do over at Zacharia Brown?
Yeah, of course. So we're a boutique law firm that's been around for about 30 years in Pennsylvania, more specifically Pittsburgh. We've been in Florida for about 10 years with offices in Lakewood Ranch and Pompano Beach. And we were excited to open up our Bonita Springs office, which we did in the fall of 2023. So while we're new to the area physically, we're not new to the area of law. We've got 8 attorneys, some of which are duly licensed in Pennsylvania and Florida, with a staff of about 19 additional people. We specialize in estate planning, estate administration, trust administration, guardianships, and elder law. So while most of those areas of law may be familiar to most people, no one really understands what elder law is. It's helping families plan to protect their life savings from long-term care costs associated with assisted living and skilled nursing facilities. We specialize in protecting your hard-earned assets so that they go to your children and your beneficiaries or the charities of your choosing, and not to the CEO of a large company that owns multiple skilled nursing facilities. I'm a firm believer that your money should stay within your family. And there are many estate planning attorneys in Southwest Florida, but I think what differentiates us from traditional estate planning attorneys is our focus on the elder law piece. As elder law attorneys, we're assisting individuals and families with their estate planning and long-term care needs throughout all stages of their lives.
So are there any maybe myths or maybe misconceptions regarding what you do that we could maybe clear up for our listeners?
Gosh, yeah, where do I even start? The biggest things I've seen are that you don't have to be rich to need an estate plan, and you don't need to be poor to be on Medicaid. Every person needs a last will and testament, a durable power of attorney, a healthcare surrogate, and a living will. And depending on your financial and family dynamic, a trust may be necessary too. But what I can tell you is that all estate plans are not created equal. I've seen far too many times documents that don't properly protect a person's health or wealth. That's why it is so important to come to a firm like Zacharia Brown with 30 years of experience crafting comprehensive estate plans with long-term care and elder law focuses that protect you through all of the stages of your life. Because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And just getting back to Medicaid for a minute, people think that in order to qualify for it, you have to be destitute or literally have nothing, but that's just not the case. With proper planning, really anyone can get onto Medicaid, and they can get onto Medicaid if you're going to a trusted or experienced elder law attorney. There are so many ways that we can protect your assets and life savings from skilled nursing care, which on average can run anywhere from $11,000 to $12,000 a month. That can easily drain the wealth that you've built up over the course of your life. And what good is an estate plan if there's no estate left for when you pass?
Absolutely. It's, you got to think about the future and think about who you're leaving behind as well. So let's back up your story a little bit. How did you get involved in law?
Sure. So I was born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I graduated from a small school about 45 minutes south of Pittsburgh called Washington and Jefferson College. And after I graduated, I worked in finance and banking for a few years, but I just wasn't happy with it. So my now wife told me to go back to law school because she knew that I always wanted to do it. So I decided that's what I was going to do. But I made sure that wherever I went to law school, there was no chance of snow. I was tired of the cold and snow and gray skies in Pittsburgh. But that's what brought me to Ave Maria School of Law in Naples. I've been down here for 10 years and have been practicing law since I graduated. Out of law school, I was doing litigation and eventually got involved in a lot of trust and probate litigation where I saw families fighting. And it was hard to see. And in some cases, it could have even been avoided. Families were paying large chunks of money on attorney's fees for fighting, and no one really was winning. Families were torn apart and never talked again in some cases. So that's when I decided I wanted to get into the planning aspect so I could try to help families avoid litigation by planning properly and drafting documents to really take any guesswork out. At right around that time when I was making that decision that I wanted to get involved in planning, Carl had approached me, and Carl Zacharia, that is. I've known him for many, many years. He's a family friend of ours. He basically had said to me, "Hey, Ehren, I'm getting a lot of Florida work. We have offices in other states. In other cities of Florida, and I want to open up an office in Naples. Will you run it for me?" And I thought to myself, what a great opportunity. It was the right timing. And I said, absolutely. And ever since then, we have been trying to expand our footprint in the Southwest Florida area. And I think in the short time that we've been around in Bonita, people are starting to recognize us and really trust us with a lot of, their needs.
That's great. And that's so you live in Southwest Florida now. We moved down here. We both moved down here because of the weather, because we love it down here. What do you enjoy doing outside of work when you get a minute of free time?
I really like spending time with my family. My daughter, Isla, she'll be 4 in July. My wife, Jackie. We like doing a lot of things that we moved down here for, going to the beach, the pool. I really enjoy playing tennis and pickleball. I also really enjoy traveling. It's hard when you have a family and work, but anytime I can get away and travel, it's definitely something I enjoy.
There you go. Any favorite places?
I love Italy. We've been to Italy a few times. It's, in my mind, one of the most beautiful places on earth. So I really love going there.
And the food is great too. We gotta love that.
Yeah, not bad. Not many bad meals there.
Absolutely. So is there one thing you wish our listeners knew about Zacharia Brown that maybe they're not familiar with?
The one thing I wish our listeners knew about our business is when to contact an estate planning elder law firm like Zacharia Brown. A good rule of thumb is to contact us when one or more of the 4 Ds occur. The 4 Ds are diagnosis, death, divorce, and disease. In addition, any changes in the financial or family background. Also, if someone's moving to Florida, it's highly recommended that they have their previous estate planning documents reviewed and possibly updated due to the nuances within Florida law compared to the state that they were previously in. The cost benefit of talking to an attorney when something happens will always be in your favor. And I also am a very honest, open person. If your plan is in good shape and I've reviewed it and nothing needs changed, I will tell you that. I have no problem telling a client that they're in good shape. There's a lot to be said for talking to an attorney and having peace of mind.
Absolutely. So how would our listeners go about contacting you if they had questions, concerns?
At our website, zachbrownlaw.com. That's ZACBrownlaw.com. Or they can call us on our office line at 239-345-4545 and ask to be connected to our intake coordinator, Marie. She's one of the best. We also provide free educational events throughout Southwest Florida. So please check out our upcoming events on our website, as I just mentioned. We've done over 30 events since we opened up the office, and we're continuing to do those events to help people learn about estate planning, estate administration, elder law. So feel free to come to one of our upcoming events and meet our attorneys to learn more about protecting your health, wealth, and securing your legacy. We also post all of our upcoming events on our social media sites, Facebook and Instagram.
That's a great way to connect with the community. Any last words for our listeners or anything you wanted to touch on?
If you're interested in learning more about Zacharia Brown, I would just encourage the listeners to come out to one of our events to meet us and just learn about this area of law, which can be very confusing and overwhelming. And we strive to make sure that it's not that way. We want to make sure that people understand things and the stresses are taken off of their shoulders.
Let's make it a good experience for everybody, an educational one on top of that.
Exactly.
Well, very good. Ehren, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for being such a good neighbor, and I hope to see you out in the community soon.
Great. Thanks so much again for having us on, Cabo.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpestero.com. That's gnpestero.com or call 239-296-2621.